foam rolling for hips. And we're going to get into the hip joint, front and back, but also the front of the legs, the backs of the legs, and then into the calves, front of the lower legs, and the feet. All of these muscles all work together working on the hips. So if something is tight or out of alignment further down, it's going to affect your hips. So we want to work all of those areas as well. So we're going to do lots of rolling all on the lower end of the body. So foam rolling started back in the 1980s. It was part of the Feldenkrais method of movement, of exercising, and they used it just for standing on as a balanced way to activate your core. And then a physiotherapist was doing those exercises and realized it could be used for self-massage and kind of incorporated into his physio exercises. So with the self-massage, we're really targeting the fascia. So fascia is a covering of the muscles. It also is inside the muscles. It covers your internal organs. So if we can get at that with the foam roller, we can really smooth out the fascia, get rid of any constrictions or adhesions that's there, and keep it nice and smooth. So the muscles feel looser, they move better, and you don't feel as much pain, which is also good. The foam rolling is good for lots of reasons. So it works the fascia, but it also hydrates the muscle. So as we roll it out and lengthen the muscle, get new oxygenated blood into the area, which helps reduce inflammation. As the blood flow increases, then the inflammation decreases. So that's a good thing. It also helps to move lymph, so if there's any kind of swelling, it'll help to move all of that. And then it also just brings a body awareness, so it helps you really feel what's happening in your body. A few quick rules for rolling, just to be cautious, because this is meant for something you can do at home. So don't roll on joints, don't roll right on your hip joint or right on your knee joint. Be really careful of your joints. You can really hurt them that way. Be careful of tendons, so be careful of the tendons where the muscle actually attaches to the joint. Be careful of those as well. You don't want to put too much weight there. And rest your shoulders. So doing the foam rolling, it's a huge workout for your upper body because you have to balance yourself and core as well. So take some rest in between. Normally, when you're doing it at home, you probably wouldn't do the whole sequence that we'll do today. You would maybe just do bits and pieces of sore spots. So, but just be aware that you're not going to injure your shoulders at all. And engage your core. So as we're doing some like the lower leg stuff, you really want to keep your abs on and be strong through there as well. And detox, so drink tons of water. As I was going through setting up this sequence, I was amazed at how much I was detoxing. So you're really hydrating the body, so take in lots of water to replenish what you're getting rid of. I did a little bit of anatomy on these sheets, so just a little bit so you kind of know what we're covering, fronts and backs of the legs, kind of through the butt, front of the hips, then the calves in front of the leg and the feet too. The other thing to be aware of is that hips carry a lot of emotions. So as we're releasing things, you might be releasing emotions, and just be aware of that and what's happening with that. They kind of call hips the junk drawer of the body. So lots of things can be stored there. Frustration, anger is often something that comes up. So just be aware as you're getting into that, if you're feeling those things, see what's going on there. The rollers, I have a few different types here. I use this blue one, which is maybe medium firm. That marbly blue one is probably the softest one. And then the purple ones are softer as well. The black one's pretty firm. So see how it goes. It's not meant to be torturous, as everyone says, oh, if I'm rolling, it hurts so much, right? So we don't want it to be painful. If it's painful, you're going to tighten up against it. There definitely are going to be areas that are tender and that you can feel you're getting into things, but you don't want to be moaning and groaning in pain. You know, it's not no pain, no gain. It doesn't have to be painful. So feel how it is. If you're not liking that, switch to that, or you could switch to this. We can swap it up. Or same with that one, Greg, if you're finding that one's too soft and you're not getting where you need to, we'll swap around. All right, so let's get at it. I'll let you guys lay down on your back without the roller first. So just lay down, feet forward, laying on your back, and just get a little bit comfortable there. Just getting present in the body to start. So notice where things are at today, and no judgment. You know, you're saying you've been driving lots. Your body's going to feel different today than it is going to feel before you were doing all your driving. So just be present in what's happening today and right now. Do a little body scan. So starting at your feet, are you noticing one is turned in or turned out more? Feeling any tenderness through the arch? Coming up the backs of the legs into the calves. Any tightness or pain there, or spot that feels crampy? And then up the backs of the legs into the hamstrings. So maybe it's feeling more tight or more painful to keep your knees flat on the ground. Maybe you're feeling some adhesions kind of at the top of the muscle where it attaches into your hips. Coming to the front of the quads of the legs. Maybe there's some twitchiness or some tightness there. Just feel what's happening. Getting into the glutes. One side tighter, one side higher, one side more tender. Just really feel what's happening there. Then up into the lower back. Do you feel compressed on one side or the other, or are things feeling pretty even, pretty stable through there? Then up to the mid-back, in between the shoulder blades. Any spots that are pinching or tender in there. Up to the upper back. And opening the chest. Does it feel like it's open or does it feel tight as you're laying there? Down the shoulders. One shoulder sitting higher than the other. Down into the forearms and into the hands. Coming up into the neck and where the spine attaches into the skull. Any tightness there? Does your head feel like it's center or maybe tipped to the side? And then that spot in between the eyebrows. Does it feel tight in there, or are you able to relax? Take some deep breaths in and out. And really release what you're holding on to. So grab your roller and pop it under your low back. So we're not going to start rolling yet, but just place it underneath that curve in the low back. My jacket here. And just lay down onto it. If you can, rest your head down onto the mat if that's comfortable. Let's come all the way down. Your butt's going to come up. Touch your feet, and then you can kind of decide how much pressure you're going to put there. You know, if this is tender, put more weight in your feet. Then you can get your back off of there. And just slowly sink into it. So we're not going to roll yet, but just apply the pressure and feel what's happening there. The muscles are going to start to relax with the pressure. Take some deep breaths in and out. And then shift your weight a little bit to the right, putting some pressure on the quadratus lumborum there on the right hand side. And then again, shift over to the left a little bit. So again, not rolling yet, but just applying some pressure. Come back to center. And then roll the roller down under the sacrum, so under that flat bony part of the bottom of the spine. And again, not rolling yet, but just putting some pressure. Adjust the weight in your feet. So if it's feeling tender, put more weight on the feet. If it's not, then just sink in. Just take your time there. And get present in your body, so kind of feel one hip higher than the other, one spot more sensitive than the other. And then we'll do the same, so shifting your weight onto the right side, just a bit, and then over to the left. Good. And then back to center. Now kind of adjust your weight on there. We're going to do just a little bit of rolling on that sacrum. It's kind of a tricky spot to find the right balance point for your roller and your sacrum on there, but just find the spot that works. It's small motion, and it's mostly controlled by your feet and your abs, so just do small rolls through there. Good. And then we're going to take the roller and place it vertically underneath your butt on the right side. So it's going to be between the hip joint and the sacrum. And keep it all on the same side. So you've got it all. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, and then just rolling back and forth. You can extend your right leg out if you want. And get more balance into it, more weight onto it. And just keep that right foot flexed if you're raising it up. Find those good spots in there. Good. And then plant both feet. We'll shift it over to the left. So again, vertically. Over. Awesome. And then extend that left foot out if you want. And really get into that glute area. If you find a spot that needs more attention, just rest in there or roll more in there. Give it all you've got in there. The hips are such a spot to carry stress, so everyone's going to carry that a little bit different. And then putting your roller back horizontally under your sacrum again, and place your feet into the figure 4 position, so your right leg crossed over your left. And then get it kind of in that butt area there. You put more pressure onto the right side, and you kind of roll into that. This helps to lift that big gluteus maximus muscle out of the way. You can get into those deeper, smaller muscles in the hip. And you can adjust how much pressure you want to put or extension on that right knee. Awesome. And then we're going to stick with the right side and kind of work our way around. So place the right foot back down on the mat and turn kind of a quarter turn onto your side. This is where our shoulder workout is going to happen here. So getting into the TFL, so the muscle at the top of the hip, and just rolling into that. Be aware of the joint. You don't want to go onto the bone, but you do want to roll into there. And then extend that right foot, keep it flexed to protect it. And then we're going to do a quarter turn coming over, so we hit the front side of the edge of that muscle. So you want to put more weight onto your left hand. Yeah, and just keep rolling that. Find some good spots in there. And then coming all the way onto the front. And then what we do with this one is kind of a tricky move, but you put your left knee onto the roller. So you need to shift down, but it gets to the front of that hip and really opens that up. Yeah, that's perfect. So shift your weight. Yeah, perfect. And then rolling onto it. So we're working our core, working our shoulders while we're getting into that muscle. It targets the psoas muscle at the front of the hip. You'll go down a bit onto the quad as well. Awesome. Now we're going to switch over to the whole thing on the other side. So we'll start on our backs with it under the sacrum. Sides here. And then we'll do the figure four. So crossing that left knee onto the right. Yeah, is that one too sore?
No, actually, I didn't really feel it.
No, okay. No. Try something else, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this just really gets that glute muscle out of the way, and you can get those smaller muscles deep in the hip. And putting more pressure if you want onto your knee, adjusting your balance. You could lift that other leg up if you need to put more weight onto the side. It's a good thing with the foam rolling. It's all really adjustable depending on how much weight you want to put on it. Then we'll go on to the side and get to the TFL. So again, not rolling onto the joint, just above. So the top of the pelvis to the top of the femur. Keeping that left foot extended and flexed. And just how much weight you want to put on it. And then just a quarter turn to the front. So you get the front edge of that muscle. And then we'll go all the way onto the front into the psoas. So right knee on the roller, shift yourself over onto the left, balancing on your forearms and rolling down that front of the hip. So that area isn't a joint, it's just the front of the pelvis. So as the muscle crosses down there, you can roll onto that. And then coming onto your back, and we'll just rest. So just give your body a moment to kind of integrate what we've released. Take a little breather. Feel what's happening in there. And then we're gonna move down the leg. Should feel some warmth through the area we just did as the blood is going in there. Getting rid of any toxins, any inflammation. Take a few deep cleansing breaths there. Okay. So rolling onto your stomach, we're going to get the quads, the front of the legs, at the top legs. So the roller is going to go just below your pubic bone. And we're going to roll forward. There's lots of space here. And again, watching your shoulders and just rolling all the way down, not onto the knees, but down to the knees. And I've got lots of lumps and bumps in there because I'm rolling down. So working the front of the muscle. The quadriceps are made up of 4 muscles on the front of the leg. So this is just the front of it. Then turning your toes in. It's going to get kind of to the outer edges. And then turning your toes out. Get more to the inner edges there. Yeah, that's great. And then moving on to everyone's favorite, the IT band. I know.
I do love it.
So, again, we don't want to do the no pain, no gain, but we want to get in there in the same breath, right? So, balancing on our right side, we're going to go there, starting just below the hip joint, and rolling down, not onto the knee, but rolling all the way down. Lots of shoulder, lots of core workout. And then you can balance onto that left foot if you need. Ah, it's one that makes you want to holler. Greg, how is that roller? Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. And then let's switch over to the left. Start at the top or the bottom, wherever you choose. Keep that left foot flexed, right foot over if you want, planted, whatever works for you. That's the beauty of this. You can kind of decide how much you want pressure-wise on there. Good spots in there, hey? How's that feeling? You making progress? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Greg? You feel like you're changing things in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is easily the toughest one.
It's
I love
intense.
this one. It's the only one I actually usually do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to get you laying on your back, and again, just letting it rest. Just let the blood flow coming in there. Just kind of integrate all of that in, and then we're going to move on to hamstrings. So all these muscles aren't we're not directly working the hips, but they all act on the hips. So it's important to work them as well and stretch them out. You know, if something's not moving properly further down the line, that's going to affect everything coming up. So we're going to work all the way down. All right. Now, moving the roller under the backs of your legs, so under the hamstrings. Again, watch your shoulders here because we'll have them kind of extended out behind you, and we're going to roll this out. So you can go down on your elbows if you want, come up on your hands, do whatever's comfortable there. Don't roll onto the knees, but really get that big belly of the muscle. Engage your core, keep your shoulders down your back, open the chest. Going for more intense.
Strange, some of them,
Try it out, hey?
yeah, some of them, the softer one seems too much, but then other ones it's like,
Yeah. That's, yeah.
go hard and then it doesn't matter.
And then same with this, we'll do toes in, getting the inside area. And toes out. Okay, and then when you end this one, end with it right under your butt. So not under the fleshy part, but right where the hamstrings attach to the hips almost. And we're not going to roll on the attachments, but we are just going to let it kind of sit there and give it some pressure. So it's kind of like doing the massage when you get the pressure over the deep knots. So just adjust, find the spot that's good. You don't want to roll into it, but you do want to give it some pressure. And then we're going to do the same at the knee end of it. So not rolling onto the knee, gives your shoulders a chance to have a break bit there, but just let the roller sit under the knee, sit under those tendons that enter into the knee. And we'll do the same thing here, toes in.
You're trying to put weight on it?
A little bit, nothing too crazy. Toes in to get the inner attachments. Yeah. And then toes out, the other side. So now we're going to do inside inner leg, which is an area we don't often stretch. So it can be a bit intense. So kind of straddle it and then start with it under your right and roll it that way. Back and forth, have like froggy legs here as you get into it and rolling up and down into there. Not onto the knee, but coming down to the knee. Lots of muscles up into that area that we don't often get at. This is always a killer one for me.
So my totally face one.
Either way, so you're just targeting different muscles. So if you've got it down, it's going more to the front. If you've got it flexed out, it's going more to the inside. And then swap over. Again, be mindful of our shoulders as we're doing this stuff. And you can kind of play with your foot position, you know, do some with the toe flex, do some with the toe down. Just kind of rolls your leg over onto it. You'll feel it accessing different areas. Need more? So again, we let it rest, lean on our backs, let it rest, let the blood flow coming in, and it gives you a chance to let the shoulders rest. You're not going to probably do all of these together when you're at home, but we want to be careful of that when we're here. Okay, so roller under the calves. These ones are my favorite. So under the calves, and then we're going to roll down. So getting the top, big muscle at the top of the calf, but then also going down to get the Achilles and the soleus further down. So I kind of have to walk my hands to get all the way up and down. You can do it in 2 sections too. Sometimes I do that. Just access the top section and then do the bottom section after. Watch your shoulders here. Make sure your hands are aligned underneath your shoulders. And engage your abs. It's making me sweat here. And then it's like you're pulling your butt right through. Good. Rest your shoulders a bit. We're going to do the front of the legs. So this is like an amazing ab exercise. So laying on your stomach, on your forearms, and then rolling that out. Sounds like you're hopping forward a bit, but gives you a really good ab exercises. It's accessing a great acupuncture point on the front of the legs. Helps in the detox. Yeah, it's a workout. And then rest. Roll onto your back. Give a little break, especially to the shoulders. Doing those ones are hard on your shoulders, so you just got to be really mindful of that. We're going to move on to the feet. So for this, find a wall, and we're going to roll out each arch of the foot. So just do 1 foot at a time to start. One hand on the wall and just roll onto it there. And I like to put tons of weight on that inside arch. And really get into that. I have always got sore feet, and this, I just love this one. Sometimes I'll even do this when we're watching TV or something, just have this under my foot. Switch feet, go onto your left. Any issues with plantar fasciitis, this is going to help just get the blood flow there, reduce some of the inflammation there. So rolling back to the heel is as important as doing the arch. And then we're going to do a little bit of balancing stuff. So stay near the wall, but stand on the roller, right? Challenge your proprioception, challenge your core. Feel how your body feels in space. Want more of a challenge? Arms out in front. Arms up, above. This is way easier to do at home on my carpet than it is here.
Are we supposed to just keep trying to roll it?
Yeah, just keeping your balance. So just as works your core, just getting your proprioception, feeling how your body's working, getting those small muscles in the ankles working. And just challenge yourself. If you fall off, just hop back on. That soft guy would be easy on this, hey? You'd get a good little dent in there. All right, awesome. So come back to your mat. Laying on your back. Oh, you know what? Actually, lay with the roller vertically underneath your spine. So you want one end under the sacrum and one end under the head. So just adjust so you're not feeling like your head's falling off the end. And extend your legs out in front, extend your arms out the side. This really allows the nervous system to relax. Laying on an uneven surface like this kind of works it in a different way. So how we're always bombarded with constant visual stimuli, this kind of stimulates the body instead. Deep breaths in and out. Feel if you're holding on to any tension anywhere and let that go. Now we're going to kind of finish things up, just winding it all up to relaxing so it's not all hard stuff. Under your sacrum, like we did at the beginning, kind of rock back and forth, but we're going to do bigger movements with it. So first find your balance spot in the middle, but then kind of windshield washer your legs right and left, and holding on each side. Feel it pull on the opposite side and hopefully getting some release through the side that's flexed up. When you're ready, switch over to the other. If you're feeling anywhere you're hanging on, just let it go. Try to find some ease within it. Within the work. And then be present in your body. So be real with what's happening. Like, oh, my left knee can go right onto the roller, my right is 4 inches up, right? So feel what's happening there. Feel the change left to right. Feel the differences there. Now the next one is just with your knees in the middle, kind of going up into bridge, but still keeping some weight on the roller. So similar to what we're doing, but maybe just scoot your feet in closer to your butt. Feeling the stretch across the quads.
So we're
supposed to have our weight on the roller or just?
Yeah, up to you. So just feel what feels better, you know? If you want to come up, go for it. If that gets you a deeper stretch, go for it. And then one step higher to that would be putting the roller between your knees and squeezing it and lifting the butt up, right? Slight inversion brings the blood back to the heart, lets the heart have a little bit of a break that way. But then stretches the front of the legs, activates your butt, activates those hips, keeps things strong through your core. Keep the shoulders relaxed and hands reaching for your heels. Good. Slowly vertebrae by vertebrae roll down. And extend your legs out in front. Deep breath in and out. And again. Going to do the body scan now at the end of things. See where it's all feeling now. So starting at the feet, we did a lot of footwork today. How are they feeling? Looser through there? Any tight spots, any painful spots? Coming up through the calves. The backs of the upper legs through the hamstrings and the quadriceps. How are they feeling now that we've worked into their feet laying any different? Are you noticing both sides are even now, or maybe one side is still tilted in or tilted out? Hips feeling level. Sacrum on the back of the mat. When I went through this with my husband, he was amazed that he could get his low back then onto the mat afterwards. He's like, my back feels totally different afterwards. So things like that, just notice small changes in there. One side tighter than the other through the low back. Up through the mid-back, shoulder blades able to stay down and open, chest staying open, shoulders rolled back. Coming down through the upper arms and into the forearms. Maybe your shoulders and forearms, hands, fists, maybe that's all really tired and sore from the work we've done if you're not used to doing that kind of motion. Not used to carrying weight on them, that could be a big adjustment. Through the neck and up into the head, and then that great spot between the eyebrows. Able to relax in there and breathe in there. Take your time and slowly roll onto your right side. It's going to help to stimulate the liver, get the blood flowing, just get things moving through the body. And then come and sit up. Foam rolling's an awesome thing, especially I love it for my acupuncture patients. After I've released muscles with the needles, then it's great to get in. They can go home and do this at home. So please do this at home. I can email you the link for our YouTube video. and you can go through it. I don't think you'd probably want to do the whole sequence, because that's a
Oh, I
lot
add
to
more
do.
to it every night.
Yeah, so, or that's it, right? Or some people do lots of it. In my research, there's lots of like, for relaxation, or for more intensity, or, you know, like there's so many variations on it, which is an awesome thing. You can really customize it to what you're looking for, right? And not just.
I have a rolling pin.
Do you? Yeah, I roll it 4 arms, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, these ones are soft compared to the ones
Yeah.
I use, because I have a piece of plastic that I use for a roller.
Do you? Yeah.
Oh, so nice.
That's intense, though.
Oh, wait, I'm like, this is nice, this is nice. I can definitely feel the difference, but I like the
Yeah.
plastic to get right into that IT band.
Yeah, yeah, firmer, yeah, yeah,
And on the feet too.
yeah, I know, I love it on the feet,
Mhm.
yeah. So lots of water today, did lots of detoxing today, so lots of water. But, yeah, any questions for me?
Oh, Jonathan.
The one where you got us to lie on the spine,
Yeah,
were we supposed to rotate with that a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay, good. So,
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna do any damage by it.
no, not at all. So, and that's just like a recalibration for the spine and the nervous system, where you just kind of feel loosey-goosey on it. I mean, you could do it, we're gonna do core next month, so I'm gonna definitely do that for core, where you don't wanna move and you gotta engage everything and be strong.
Would
that
you be
way.
lifting one leg at a time then?
You got it,
Oh.
yeah, yeah, and, or both, or, you know, there's lots of things you can do with that to be strong there. But for today was just to relax.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was nice.
Yeah, it's just something different, right? Everyone thinks of the foam roller as torture. And so I have people asking, well, I don't think I wanna come to the workshop, Kirsten, because it's really, you know, that's really painful. I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be painful. It can be relaxing too, so, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you participated. That's awesome. I forgot to take a second off.
One recommendation though, if anyone's wearing a belt, maybe they tell them to take it off. 'Cause-
Yeah,
Yeah, I noticed that right off the bat, and I was just like, oh, I gotta take this belt off.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, of course. I thought when you were laying, like when we started, I thought, well, I wonder if you have anything in your pockets or, you know.
Well, I emptied the
anything like
pockets, I
that.
wasn't thinking of the belt either, and I was just like,
Yeah.